Great. Good deal. Keep an eye out for me. All right. Recording on. Thank you, folks, for coming out tonight. And thanks to all those who have not been able to join us live tonight, but who have promised to watch the recording and give us some feedback. Because, yeah, some of you know that the Kramers have had kind of an interesting journey over the last 5 to 12 years. And it's time for us to get some feedback from some folks because we've put a lot of time and energy with Richard Mabe, who is our partner in We Care Partnerships, as well as the founder of the Hope Institute that we work with. And we've been laying a lot of foundation for a lot of time. And the reason we're here in Raleigh, most of you have heard, is because we are doing a suicide prevention event. And little did we know that when we got here back in April and started working on this, that it would just all of a sudden start blowing up in multiple directions and really giving us an opportunity to pull together all these pieces we've been working on and prototyping for so long, to really do a major launch forward. So we're hoping that everybody who's here, everybody who listens to this, we're here because we want your advice. We want your feedback. We want what you see and what you feel and what you hear when in this presentation, because we value you all as savvy business owners that can help us to figure out where gaps might be and where might we find the people who are really wanting to work with us to launch this forward. So we thank you again. And we'll jump on to our little presentation here, and we'll use that as a guide so that we don't go all over the place, because that wouldn't be very nice to all of you. Just
Hey,
saying.
Shay,
Yes, dear.
can I make a real quick recommendation if you don't mind?
Sure.
Let's just do a quick introduction of each person and who they represent when they're here. Because
And that
I don't think I've met Nicole.
No, I don't think you've met Steve before either. And
No.
so it goes. But sure, why not? We'll save our little spiel into the presentation. But Steve, you
Right.
want to give everybody just a little bit of an idea? I know you are the expert in the elevator pitch, so go ahead and tell people who you are.
All right, I'm glad to do it. So glad to be here. My name is Steve Hand. Pretty easy to spell, pretty easy to remember. And run a company called Triangle BNI, also Coastal BNI, which is responsible. BNI stands for Business Network International. I'm part of an organization that's in 80 different countries. We focus on helping companies grow by collaborating, by working together, by referrals. My personal goal is to help 1,000 members make $100,000 or more every year. We're about halfway towards that, with about 800, and not everybody's over that threshold yet. But I'm responsible for everything east of Chapel Hill, 46 counties, and making a big difference. So I don't know much about suicide, but anything that Cheyenne and Don need some help with, I'm willing to pitch in. So I'll do what I can.
Awesome. And it's not necessary to know anything about suicide to be helpful at this point. So,
Cool.
but we appreciate you being here, Steve.
Thank you.
Maggie, you willing to say hello?
Hang on. Oh, there we go. Speaker. So my name's Maggie Bergesser, and I am going to be a vendor at the event. So my expertise is in essential oils, especially for, including in this topic, emotional balancing, as well as I'm a feng shui expert. So I'm concerned about environment and balance, etc. So I've been working with these things for 25 years and know they work. So I'm excited to do this. It's a very important topic, and I'm glad to support.
Awesome. Thank you. And we appreciate you're going to drive all the way from Delaware to Raleigh to be with us next month. So that's awesome. Mr. Davies, welcome.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Jimmy Davies here, and actually, Steve Hand. I've met you before, and when I saw your name, I saw it was been years ago. But anyway, I'm in Durham, North Carolina, and in 2018, after 35 or 30 at that time, almost 30 years of experience as a computer instructor, I started the program Every Dot Black. It's a membership organization. And the main thing we try to support our members, entrepreneurs. We have weekly mastermind meetings, which are all welcome to attend on any Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have different guest speakers, and we learn from. We read books, and we also offer classes on technology. That's the big thing I'm really trying to emphasize now, is to learn about AI. Whether you're learning from me or wherever, this is a game changer. So that's what we try to do: support entrepreneurs and help them learn technology for their businesses.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out to be with us tonight. We appreciate it. And I can't see everybody else, but I know Nicole is here. So Miss Nicole, would you like to say hello? There we go. There's the arrow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I am Nicole McIntyre, and I represent Nicola Network, the logo behind me. And what we do is business development and fractional marketing solutions for entrepreneurs and small business owners. Right now, our focus is our division called Food Truck Affiliates, where we specifically support mobile concepts and mobile business owners to start and grow their businesses, whether you are a food truck owner, a private chef, sommelier, coffee concept, lemonade stand. We help you with creating the foundation in your business, scaling it, and adding technology if you are interested.
Awesome. And I know you are a busy lady as well. So thank you for taking the time out and come and visit with us tonight. And Mark, I don't believe that we've had an opportunity to meet yet. So please introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening. No, we haven't. I'm a friend of Richard's. I met him last year. My name's Mark Douglas. I'm CEO of a local business that I'm trying to take up to a digital level. I formed a company back in 2010 to start doing holistic work, and sort of built it out into including business consulting. My corporate experience is in data management, process improvement, and operational strategy. So my background isn't specifically in healing or any modalities, but more in business support for web design and content creation, all of that stuff that goes into building an e-commerce website. So in terms of the partnership that's going here, I think that there's definitely room for a business model for providing back-end services to help small businesses get their groove set up, or if they have a Shopify storefront or whatever interface that is being used. A lot of business owners aren't really clear on the technology, like the other gentleman was talking about with the AI and setting up chatbots and autoresponders on your site so that people who visit can have a means of interacting. And that takes our websites beyond just being a digital business card into being an interactive way of communicating with people. So I'm hoping,
Awesome.
that might be something that some of the other members can use. But I'm also really looking forward to partnering with both the Hope Institute and We Care with a ministry that I'm in the process of forming, which would be the nonprofit version. And my vision and framework is so uncannily similar to the vision and framework of Hope and We Care that I feel like it would be a sin for me not to pursue involvement. So, so
Okay.
I'm here to get my feet wet.
All right. Well, we're so
Well,
glad that you came along and sticking your toes in the water here to see how,
Sure.
we might be helpful to each other. And then Aunt T.
Me too. Hi, where you at, Auntie?
She's
Okay,
hiding.
here I am.
I
I
can't
unmuted
see you.
myself.
Okay.
Good.
Introduce yourself, dear.
Okay, as you see my name is Tanya Deckham, but on this particular journey, I am known as Auntie. Yes. And as Auntie, my thing is to really educate the next generation to get them better, smarter, wiser, sooner. And that's what I'm working on right now is to create services that we can actually do this for the next generation. And they can remove all this stress that they're having because they've got wisdom from us. And because I feel like in society, we have not done a good job of passing wisdom down to the next generation. And I want to
True.
help change that. Yes.
All right. And you
Cool.
will.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad you could join us tonight. So, we really want to talk about our concepts here. Obviously, given that we are so in the throes of this suicide prevention event, we're going to use that as kind of our example going through this. And interesting note, this lovely spark and flame that we have as our logo now was designed by a young entrepreneur who was part of our Young Entrepreneur Program 2 years ago. So we're bringing lots of people together to work on this in different ways, and it has been nothing short of exciting to be able to see these things start to come together. So now, if I can get it to move, there we go. So, one of the things that we talk a lot about is, we call We Care Partnerships a social impact business. We are partnered with the Hope Institute, which is a 501c3. And people are always like, well, what the heck's the difference between a nonprofit and a social impact business? And, from our perspective, some of the things that we've been doing is social impact businesses can be a for-profit entity that has a social impact mission. They may work in cooperation with one or more nonprofits. We've actually, one of the projects that we did last year involved 3 nonprofits, and We Care members were kind of in the middle of it because we had a nonprofit from the UK that decided to partner with the Hope Institute to pay We Care members to go and help train facilitators to become certified therapeutic drummers to help women and children who were survivors of human trafficking. So that's an example of, there's this synergy that can be created where we had the members who were members of We Care, and then we brought all these nonprofits together to make this happen. So they may provide business mentoring in the community. Mr. Davies did that at one point for us, and we were thrilled. He actually had a group of high school students down here at Southeast Raleigh High School that he was mentoring them in how to do telemarketing, and they were learning all about his company, Every Dot Black, as a result of that. And, a social impact business may lead community-based problem-solving teams. And that's something that Don and I have been involved with over the last couple of years. We did a bunch of that work out in Western North Carolina several years ago, where we brought people together to start doing community-based problem-solving. Because I bet we'd all agree there's plenty of problems to be solved out here right now. So, I don't know if that it jumped on me. There we go. And so, what is a social impact business? Well, we just talk about social impact is creating positive change, in a community or organization, creating and addressing pressing social issues. And that's the one thing we've learned since we've come to North Carolina is the topic of suicide has become an absolutely silent epidemic. And when we came and heard on TV that suicide is the second leading cause of death of 10 to 18-year-olds in North Carolina, that's just totally unacceptable to us. So, the main thing we talk about is big difference between nonprofits and social enterprise is the ability to continue to build profitable business while still making a difference. And Ben & Jerry's was one of my early models many years ago. We used to live right next to the very first Ben & Jerry's ice cream store in Burlington, Vermont. And they used to set up nonprofits to have Ben & Jerry's franchises where clients of the nonprofit could go to work in the franchise franchise, and the franchise profit went back into the nonprofit. And Tom's Shoes has done a lot with that kind of model as well, in terms of being able to give a pair of shoes whenever they sold a pair of shoes. So that's the kind of thing that we're working to try to help more businesses realize. You don't have to be a millionaire before you start making a difference in the community. So, your business may already be making a social impact, but what if it could do more? Or what if some of the people would want to be involved in doing more? And so, Rick, you want to just go through the acronym that you created that we're all about in this event?
Lord Sparky.
Where'd he go? He
I
fall
unmuted.
out?
I had to unmute. It's okay. Everything's good.
I can't see you, so I have no idea.
So Rick May with Hope Institute here, everybody. Nice to see you. I love you. It's good to be with everybody. So when we started talking about and started getting more exposed to the suicide epidemic that's going on, I was laying in bed one night, and as things do come to me mainly when I'm in bed, this word came to me, spark. And within that word also came the message: suicide prevention by participating in open dialogue, addressing societal causes, rejuvenating our mind, body, spirit, and above all, kindness toward all. And we feel like that is a very positive framework for going forward with our mission to eradicate suicide. Thank you.
Absolutely. And yes, we've been plastering this all over everything because it does encompass what we're all pulling together for. And you just heard me say this, that yes, suicide is the second leading cause of death, 10 to 18-year-olds. And Maggie recently sent me an article that says that suicide is the 5th leading cause across the country of death of preteens. So we're talking younger than 13 years old. So that is it's not acceptable. It is horrifying in my mind. And you kind of sort of know us. Mark hasn't really met us, so we can just briefly, he knows Rick, but for everybody who doesn't know you, Rick, just give a little bit of your background.
Real quick. I'm Rick May with the Hope Institute. I've known Shay and Don for about 16 years now, I think it is. It's been a long, good journey. We've learned a lot from each other. I live in Reedville, Virginia. You can see me right now on my deck out here at Sunset. It's a wonderful place to be. The Hope Institute has been founded to help people find hope where it's lost. Again, just so you know, I'm very connected to my Creator. I'm very open to vibrations and energy coming to me with information that we use when we tap into it. So just like what happened with Spark, I was in bed one night when I was given a word. God said, hope. And then right after that, it said honesty, omnipotence, pure love, and essence. Now, I've been learning about those things for a while, but it all came together. God gave me a vision and a mission to go out and provide hope to people. So that's what I do. Got a coaching site, coachrick.vision. We've got We Care Partnerships and partnered with us. And we do a lot of projects, and particularly the one we're working on now is suicide prevention. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And of course, my better half.
Hi, everyone. Everybody knows me.
No, not everybody does.
I'm Don Kramer. I've been married to this young lady right here for many years. Had a great past, I guess, but helping people has been my thing for many years. And we've had the opportunity to help young people in some of our programs we've done in the Raleigh area, Durham. We're talking as young as 9-year-olds, through even young adults. And basically, that's what I like to talk about, helping young people.
Absolutely. And I am Cheyenne Kramer, for the few who might not know that. And I have created a class many years ago that has been taught in the North Carolina Community College system called Find Your Song and Sing It, finding or creating work you love. And that class actually came out of the fact that I've lost too many friends to suicide. And for many of them, they had something in their heart that they wanted to be doing, and yet everybody told them it wasn't realistic to do it as a career path. And many of them spent too many years being extremely depressed and just got to a point where the pain was too much. So that's my reason for being here. I don't want to lose any more friends or associates to
We
suicide.
just don't want to lose any more people to suicide.
We
period.
definitely, and the young people and the veterans,
Yes.
because Marine Corps veteran, we are very concerned, especially about these two groups. So, the way that we kind of function all this together, We Care Partnerships Network recruits businesses to work with the Hope Institute. And together we are saving lives. The project we did with Restored to Dream with the human trafficking survivors, they are getting the opportunity to be able to reduce their stress and their anxiety and all of these things by using therapeutic drumming techniques that they've got access to now. And now, we have pulled together a team. Right now, we've got about 20 businesses in the Raleigh area who are all going to be part of the event that we're doing. And what we're doing is we're bringing them together to be a wellness team that can be here to support, not to replace, but to support our current mental health system. Because, we have people in mental health who are working very hard. We honor, we respect that, but it's not enough, or we wouldn't be having such a trajectory going on that we've got going on. So we're pulling together wellness folks who can be, complementary adjuncts to the mental health community. And we believe that, and we know, because we've seen some of these things in the past, we know we can improve results. One of the things we found out when this guy ran for governor 12 years ago, and we thank Steve Hand for his assistance way back then.
Big time.
But what we found out then was that the US spends more money on healthcare than any country in the world, but we rank number 40th in the results we get. So that's part of the concern that we're carrying with us right now. So, there's definitely three major societal issues that we have to address. We got to help people take more control over their health. They need to understand what they are capable of taking control over and help them to be able to do it. One of the reasons people commit suicide is financial challenges. We're big into helping people at all levels of society to be able to learn about entrepreneurship. That's one of the reasons we're so excited about the logo we've got, that the young lady, she's still in high school, that she drew up that logo for us. She's building her own artistic business. In fact, she was doing that when we worked with her 2 years ago. So, and helping people figure out how to make money out of those skills and talents and how to develop multiple streams of income. It's becoming more and more necessary. And then, of course, the big piece with the Hope Institute is we're moving towards building micro communities where peace can be found. And, that's where we want to have the micro healing communities that also help people to learn how to become more self-reliant financially and to be able to be in an environment where they don't feel like they're in a war zone. Because the studying we've been doing says a lot of our young people are feeling the same way as our military. They feel like they're in a war zone and they don't know what they can do about it. And this is some of what's happening to them. So, this is why Ignite the Spark is here and what we're doing. And the event's going to include normalizing the conversation around suicide. It's, this is one of the big problems is people are afraid to talk about it.
Right.
They tend to feel shame and blame and all kinds of things when they lose a loved one or a friend. I went through some of it myself. Every friend I've lost, I've put myself through the misery of, oh my God, what could I have done to change that? And so people don't want to talk about it, and it's not helping. We have to normalize the conversation. And then educate people about whole person products and service that empower us to take more control over our health. And, that includes, from our perspective, helping people to determine whatever the God of their understanding is and be willing to find that connection so that you never feel alone. And then finally, creating teams with a passion for building communities that serve a demographic. We're going to be at Dix Park on the late afternoon of September 21st. And we're inviting faith-based communities of all kinds around the Triangle to come out and be part of this team building exercise, where if somebody wants to help aged out foster kids, they can work with our friend Marita. If they want to work with veterans, they can work with Don or Rick or some other folks that are veterans oriented. We've got a young gal who is all about helping abused women. But we need to bring teams together around these things and get people brainstorming, visioning, and downright praying, if that's what you believe in, that we can take and create these things and be able to be part of a larger solution. So, have you ever thought about some of these things and, how suicide's impacting families? I heard a recent statistic that every suicide impacts about 135 people. Rick, you want to share just a little bit about your story?
Sure. My dad was an alcoholic and a drug abuser and a family abuser and left us homeless bunch of years ago. Mom, myself, my sister were homeless for a while. We went through all these things with him, and then when I was 14, he decided that he had enough, and he shot himself and took his life. And from that point, for the next 30 years, I was a total mess. Even though my dad had not really been a father figure so much to me, a son never loses that connection with his blood father. And when that happened, it just destroyed me for the next 30 years until I could finally forgive him and forgive myself to some degree for just being so upset about it. And so I came through my grief when I was 42. So now what I'm doing, I don't want to see any more buddies lost to suicide. I don't want to see any more kids that can't grow up with their dad in an environment that's balanced and can help them to be the men they're supposed to be. It breaks my heart to see what's happening to our young men. And it's no wonder that they're doing the things they're doing, because it rests on us. And this is one of the things we're teaching, is that we need to help people to accept accountability and responsibility for what they do. And so it's very important for us to do that, as well as teaching them about pure love. We have a formula in place and we're moving with it. So go ahead. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Well, and I'll just say I've been studying, societal kinds of things for a long time, all the way back in high school. That was one of my concerns, was that people were having a hard time, even as teenagers, to figure out that if they felt like there was some kind of purpose in life. And that's where a lot of our young people are right now, is they don't see purpose, they don't see hope. A lot of our young people are getting totally rejected the idea of being so focused on money. It's like, if they can't enjoy doing what they're doing, they don't care about the paycheck. And I won't say that's all of them, but I've heard this story from far too many. Things like lack of minerals in the diet that's affecting our brain health, the healthcare system that's ranked 40th in the world instead of much higher than that, and then of course you get into some of our technologies. I mean, God forbid that too many of our young people are just, their self-worth is hung on TikTok and how many views they get. And that's just not right. They have so much more worth than that. So, and then of course, Don, I'm betting you kind of felt like you were in a war zone when you were in the political game.
Oh,
How do you feel like that's affecting the kids right
it's
now?
affecting a lot. Well, I like to talk about when we're doing our event in Durham with the kids between 9 and 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the kids were just living with their mother, one parent. Well, right after our little program ended, probably a month later, 2 kids' mother's boyfriend killed her. They didn't have a father in their life. Now they're that young age and their mother's killed. Living in a war zone? Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't get much worse than that. And that's something has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't let that go. I'm sure those poor kids were traumatized and everything else.
Absolutely. And some of these kids are looking at us, our generation, and saying, why did you let society get this way?
We actually had one young boy who was hoping we would adopt him. at
Yeah.
that.
That's true. That's true.
He was hanging on me. Actually, he had the same name as his name was Donald.
Donald, yep, that's right.
And wherever I went, he was following me.
That is
It's
it.
awful.
That is it. And so, right now we're focused on Raleigh Durham right now, but we're mobile for a reason. We've been in this RV for 5 years. We're looking to replicate this and go into Florida with it, into Virginia with it. I had a gal asking me to come to Atlanta the other day. A lot of people are recognizing that this is important. And in every location, we're looking for who are those bringers of wellness, empowering people to take control and improve their own health. Who are those bringers of different streams of income and repeat income so that more people can be self-sustaining? And who are those bringers of, helping us find properties that could become these micro communities? Because that's ultimately the vision of the Hope Institute, is to be able to start to build these where, we can help with healing body, mind, and soul, where we can provide education that is not typically found in our school systems at the moment, and to just be able to help people find a level of peace that's really hard to find in our communities right now. So, we're hoping that somewhere some of this may resonate with some of you folks, and you might know people that we need to be talking to right now. So, and how can these things disrupt the suicide epidemic? In fact, this is the group Don was just talking about. These were the middle schoolers in Durham, and most of these kids were living in a homeless shelter with a drug addicted parent. So these are the kids that oftentimes end up saying, nobody's going to miss me if I'm gone.
I got to say one thing though. This young man, the light blue shirt here on the right,
Mm-hmm.
we asked him a question. What would he do if he had a closet full of money? I'd make more money. You don't get that out
Smart
of
kid.
He was 9 years old and he's thinking that way.
Yep, absolutely. And they all did their own event. They all made money off from car wash and flea market and lemonade stand. They had a great time. So, but these are the things that we are putting into the We Care and Hope formula, because one is all about creativity, because the brain is happiest when it's creating. Whether you're talking about art or music, or you're talking about business, it has been shown many times over that creativity can really help a lot to increase the happiness in the brain. And then, less side effects if we can have less reliance on pharmaceuticals, where so many of them have suicide ideation as a side effect. We know that sometimes they're necessary for certain things, but can we find ways to create the complement? Duke University has what they call Duke Integrative Medicine. And it's all about bringing natural medicine together with traditional medicine to be able to improve the outcomes. And that's what we need to be doing. Helping, with self-reliance. Entrepreneurs, once they get moving, they get going, if they've got a good support system around them, like some of you on here are providing to people, there's less reliance on government programs and such. And then help people determine what kind of a purpose they have. Just because they haven't found one yet, we happen to believe that if you're on this planet right now, you've got a purpose, you've got gifts to give to others, and we're here to try to help people find those. So, what does this mean for business like yours, or perhaps somebody I mean, we're talking about two main things. Is as we get out here, we're going further and further with attention in different areas, and we're looking to drive more prospects to our We Care members and to sponsors that decide to get involved in what we're doing. Our events will generate more prospects that become customers, and of course, the positive publicity is huge. One of the things that we hear a lot of, and if you follow the news, you probably do too, there's always somebody these days who's trying to rip apart business and say, business is greedy, business is, all these negative things. And, we know they're driving towards some thoughts and ideas that we may not all agree with, but being able to put businesses in the light of being a trusted business is huge. And that is what We Care Partnerships is all about. We're putting up websites for every state in the country. We also have one for Alberta, Canada, because we've had some folks up in Alberta who have joined We Care. And, you know, being able to showcase all of these folks as honest, ethical businesses that can be trusted. And so anything that gets involved in this movement, that's going to be a huge part of our messaging to help more people understand there are good, honest, ethical businesses. And if you are invited here tonight, we do know that you are one of those. And, you know, we want you to know media attention can be shared. And we've been blown away at some of the attention we've gotten here in the Triangle just in the last few weeks. CBS 17 put us on My Carolina, and me and Mariama Ba, who's part of our core team, you know, we got interviewed about the whole Ignite the Spark. Foxy 104 actually did a 1 hour long interview with us about this, and they were very passionate and enthusiastic about what we're doing. And then Rick and I had the opportunity to be interviewed by Consumer Network TV just recently, and they're putting together, it's about a 10 or 12-minute interview that we're going to be able to share all over the place as well. And it's going to be on Roku TV. So, you know, we're looking to be able to share the spotlight with businesses who get involved with We Care and Hope, because that's what we do. And we've got a variety of live streams and podcasts that are starting to go on around us. And all of a sudden, in the past few days, I've been invited onto 5 podcasts to talk about this. And some of them have some pretty good size listening bases. So again, this topic is catching people because something in their spirit is feeling it, that there's something seriously wrong, and we, the people, need to do something about it. So, and you know, we have a mobile billboard, folks. So we're hoping to find people out here somewhere who decide that they might like to utilize our mobile billboard, because, you know, we're on the road constantly, and we definitely, again, willing to share whatever we can do to be able to help publicize businesses and help people know who are the trustworthy folks that they can work with and deal with. So, you know, what if advertising dollars could save lives? You know, we're out here talking to people all over the place, trying to find people who might want to sponsor the Spark movement, who are willing to explore different levels of We Care membership. And, you know, different levels will have continued promotion that go along with it. So that's a big part. And we are just getting started. I mean, North Carolina is the flagship, but we've got at least 3 other states that are wanting to come online. And I know that there's others that are going to come behind it. We've talked to people in Ohio and Indiana as well. So that's our big question to all of you is, you know, we're looking for your feedback and advice to us in terms of, you know, does this have merit? Do you know people, do you know businesses that are willing to get involved in working with us for advertising, promotion, sponsorship, and at the same time help us to be able to move forward in a bigger way to help save lives? Because it's gotta happen. And, you know, some of you know about the book we wrote that's called Skip the Politics and Create Heaven on Earth. And, you know, the very first page of that is Buckminster Fuller. And he says, you never create change by fighting the existing reality. To create that change, you need to build a new system that makes the old ones obsolete. And, you know, one of the thoughts that came to me the other day was, you know, wouldn't it be cool? What if somewhere down the line, all that money that gets thrown into these political campaigns that we're all wondering just how much good they're doing for us? Wouldn't it be the coolest thing if that money could start to be directed more towards the small business community, where solutions really can be built? So that's kind of where we are at. Is, you know, we're hoping and praying that those of you who are here and those of you who might be watching this in the future, that you'll do a one-on-one with us and just give us honest feedback. I'm not expecting all roses and wonderful things.
Honest
We want
feedback.
honest feedback. We want ideas. We want, if you feel that we can earn your trust where you can help to refer us to other people. That's what we really are hoping will happen over time.
After 2012, I got some thick skin.
Yeah, you're thick skinned. God bless you. You are. No doubt about that. So, that's kind of where we're at. We can be transparent enough to say, yeah, we'd love all of you guys to jump on board and become sponsors and such, but that was never our purpose for tonight. Our purpose really has been is, can we meet with you guys? Can we get your honest feedback? And if there are any people that you think we should be talking to about this movement, then we would be most honored to be able to do that. So anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts that they're willing to share? And I will throw my calendar link in here just in case anybody's willing to jump on it. Again, if not, I know how to follow up with folks.
Yes, you do.
All good. But anybody have any thoughts they care to share in the short term before we let y'all go?
Yeah, this is Jimmy. I'll kick it off. A couple things I was writing down as you were speaking. You know, Tiffany Hunter, she has the Healthy Entrepreneur podcast. I was thinking that might be a good interview with her as well. I'm sure she'd be open to it. And then
Absolutely.
Yeah.
the other is Lafayette Jones. I don't know if you know, he has a Urban Call publication that he and his wife put out. And one of the things, their slogan is healthy living every day. And he's always looking for good content. So if you would like write an article, give him a nice photo, and just provide the content, because he's always looking for something to put in the to fill up the pages. He'd probably I think that would certainly fit in line with his publication.
Very
So-
cool. Well, and I don't know
So-
Lafayette. I mean, would you be willing to introduce us?
Oh yeah.
That would be
You
very
know who
cool.
he is though, right? You've seen him on the meetings. No?
I guess I have, but I don't think I've ever spoken to him.
Okay. Well, warning, he is a talker, but I'll be glad to introduce you.
And I'm not, right?
Oh, wow.
I mean,
I want to be a fly on that room, man. On the wall.
Good deal.